have you ever thought about getting a ghost hunter to come in and do like a celebrity night, walk through with every 10th party at random or something like that? Just to
I mean, honestly, absolutely. It's one of those things where I'm all about community and connection. I come from a gypsy upbringing. Like Romanian is definitely in my blood, and my grandmother was very much in that world. My great grandmother, and so yeah, we're always very open to anything Halloween, anything spooky. And if there's anyone that ever wants to reach out and do a collaboration or do some sort of haunted situation, we're all open for that. But it's a kind of, it would be a neat idea to do a ghost hunters night.
I just like, you know, I just thought of that as I was looking at this month because again, that's how much I love Halloween. I wanted this month to have some sort of spooky theme to it as much as I could. And definitely, in fact, 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks? We interviewed Chris Nash from In a Violent Nature. I don't know if you've seen that movie yet. Another fabulous Canadian product. You guys are killing us over here in the United States with your everything. If you haven't seen it, fantastic movie out of Toronto, I believe. So just great time. So I like theming up the whole month. And what you guys are doing, I love the fact that this is being elevated. It's not like the Ren Fair sort of level event. You come out, it's a long experience. There's more to see than just a couple minutes, and it's more than just a line. Thankfully, at least in my neck of the woods, a lot of the larger remote haunted houses, they actually have fire pits, and they'll take you down on ATVs, and they try to really do it with some of the better ones. So but the line experience, I've done way too much, and I think that's one thing that keeps me away now. So giving something on the other end of the line is the most important. I love that you guys are doing that.
The midway experience we call is very important. You know, what is the guest getting? You want to make sure the atmosphere is there. We're in the photo op era. Everyone wants everything to be completely aesthetically pleasing, and that's why, like everything that we do, we just focus on the production design.
I wanted to ask you, and it might maybe if Ken comes back, I'll re-ask it because he's had the all those years. You have the long corn maze. How have cell phones changed the haunted house? The people have them on them the entire time, want to use them maybe in certain ways as flashlights or not, or to record the whole thing and show their friends. How have they altered your business?
Yeah, you should have more protocols in place to make sure people can't pull their phones out. I'm actually a big fan of cell phones in the haunted house, weirdly enough. Certain rooms, like our monster lobby, where it's very Beetlejuice inspired, where it's, the monsters are waiting for reintegration, and so they're sitting in this lobby waiting for their call. We like to encourage the guests to pull out their phones and actually take photos with the lobby guests and the monsters, giving them, because I feel like, you go to a haunted house, it's so high visual, and that's our screen machine. It's so high visual and really cool that you rarely get to share with your friends, and that's kind of a huge downside. So we find that phones are a problem consistently, but we like to offer moments where you can use your phone and enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, you could leave that on. That's fine. I was right. I had a room that had white paint, fluorescent paint, and glow in the dark paint. And as the lights cycled that I had, different messages would appear on the wall. It was a big graffiti wall. And if cell phones existed at the time and somebody had their flashlight on it, it would have ruined a good half of it, just even one flash. So I was wondering, how you would work with it in your situation. So I like the idea. There are rooms where we want you to use them. This is appropriate. Yeah.
People want to share. People want to share experiences. Why not let them?
Yeah, totally. I'm trying to the biggest joy you have had doing all of this throughout your haunted house career, and I do want to touch a little bit on your entertainment career as well. This is entertainment, I know. When you at the end of the season, your last night, you go home, what are you smiling the most about?
I don't know. It depends. Like, I guess what probably would make me smile the most is, like, I was just a little bit of a stress case when the season first began. You work out all the kinks in your first few days, and I think what I would say has made me and probably will continue to make me smile is delivering what I promised to the guests. If they're coming for a 40-minute immersive experience where they come out screaming or laughing, whatever it is, that makes me smile, because then I'm not robbing anyone of a good time. And so that's when those kinks were worked out after day 1 or 2. That's what I'll probably still smile about the same things.
Let me circle back and tell everybody who's writing a business plan, that should be the first item on your business plan.
Absolutely.
Deliver what you promise, make people happy.
Honestly, if you can, I hate to say that under promise over deliver, but if you can over promise and over deliver, which we kind of did, it's just the biggest well of happiness. And when you're happy as a business owner or business operator, your product improves. And I think that's where you have to
I
focus
agree.
on, is just go in with this happiness and love of what you do, and the customers feel it, your employees feel it, and everything else around you just starts to swell with it.
So, since it's just you here, and I wanted to touch a little bit on your film and movie career. Have you talked to any of your people you've encountered, any celebrities you've worked with, into working at the haunted house?
A few in here and there. A few of my actor friends from the industry have actually worked and are working currently here. There's a few individuals which are hoping to get out for some fun little, even if they come in for a Saturday. There's these amazing twin actresses in Vancouver. We're pushing to get them out to play our two-headed receptionist in the lobby for like a shift or two. So it's kind of like we even have like two Emmy award-winning makeup artists that worked on The Last of Us and shows like that are working on our team, and just people that just in the film industry, because it's shifting right now, people are just looking to kind of diversify what they're doing. And so
Yeah.
now I would say no big ticket actors right now, but there's hopefully a few that might come out for a few shifts here throughout the season just for fun.
Yeah, Vancouver is full of talent, as we've been discovering.
Yeah.
The people we've been fortunate enough to talk to, there's so many good, so many great. I'm blown away every time I talk to somebody else in Vancouver. And I've said this before, but I have to come out. I'm on the opposite side of the continent, and I still have to. I know I have to be in Vancouver. I am impressed with everything about the place. So I had to
Beautiful.
ask just in case, I get there and Loretta Walsh and half the cast from When the Heart Calls shows up, or
They
like,
have
yeah.
been out. They're very lovely. They're very lovely.
Oh, she was amazing. She was just an amazing guest. So much warmth. I didn't expect what I got out of her, and it was just a pleasure for an hour to just, because when you see a show like that, you think, of course, they're not nice in real life. Yeah, just quality people. So,
Yeah, we
hey,
have a very good group of good actors in Vancouver, which is nice.
yeah,
Some
absolutely.
lemons, but the most are nice.
I've yet to run into. I mean,
Good.
I've had nothing but great experiences, and maybe it's through Leslie, who I meet most of the people I talk to. She's amazing, and I think she only works with good people. To be honest with you, from what I've experienced, I got to ask you something. What scares you?
Everything. It's why I got into this. Weirdly enough, before I just started this industry. Like when I got offered the job to coach at the Scariest Gourmets, I was scared shitless. The dark scared me, and my employees would have a bet of who would scare me the most, and so I hated my job. I'd walk in, I'd be doing my little check, making sure the levers and everything was done, and then they would cut the power, and then all you would hear is these growls in the dark, and you're like, okay. And that was me for like 4 years. And now I'm not afraid of as much, but weirdly enough, the one thing that still scares me is water. It's I'm a big imagination, like, creative person, but this idea, not water, I can drink water, I can go swimming. But the idea
You're
of
not
like
an
the deep,
alien
no,
from.
no, 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 not yet. The idea of like a deep ocean or things that I can't understand or see the bottom of, that unknown is probably what scares me the most. Knowing as much as I do in my line of work, I think that the unknown is quite terrifying.
So have you personally, in your belief, ever seen a ghost or spirit or something that is truly supernatural?
A few times.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Was that before you got into this or after? And you're like, no, I've been playing with my mind too much.
No, no. Since I was a kid, there's a few that are like quite insane. I would say insane that I even experienced it. The one I had a terrible experience over in Banff a few years ago with like it felt like a sleep paralysis demon that wasn't pleasant at all.
I have yet to have that. I hear everybody eventually is going to have to deal with sleep paralysis and possibly a demon. Would you mind if I dig in on that? I'm just curious about that story. If you don't mind telling it.
Yeah, it was Complicité, a beautiful company in England. They do immersive theater, was coming down, and I went to their workshop in Banff. And there's the beautiful conference center up in the mountains in Banff. The pressure changes, and they always warn you. The first sleep's gonna feel weird. You're adjusting to the pressure and the elevation. So just give yourself some grace, drink lots of water. all that crap. So anyway, I'm staying at this old hotel. It's like I didn't know at the time, but it was like a prison, I guess, back in the day, like when they were transporting people through the mountains of the different provinces, something like that. And so, nice little tidbit to know. I should have stayed at the Fairmont. And so I went into my room and I went to bed. I laid down and I closed my eyes, and it was just about, I think the moon was at a certain point of my window and I could see it. And I remember it very clearly because of how traumatizing it was. But I closed my eyes and my eyes opened up immediately. Almost like I went closed and then I was frozen and I couldn't move any part of my body. I was paralyzed. It felt like, and I was like, this is so cool. I'm having a lucid dream. This is so cool. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, it feels like it's been like 2 hours and I can't move. And I just was like in this state of being frozen. And then it got really
Oh,
dark. And then in the corner of my room, I just noticed this little white flick, and I shifted my eyes, and there were these two little dots. And then this thing stood up and walked towards me, and it was wearing a black and white striped prison suit, and he was bald and just had these like beady white eyes. And he just walked over the side of my bed and just was smiling at me. And then he held up his hand, and he just didn't even look at it. He just put his hand over my chest and he started pushing. And as he was pushing, the air started literally leaving my body to the point where I was like, till where I had no air left in my lungs. And this thing was right in front of my face, just smiling. And all I could think about was wake up, wake up, wake up. And I literally was like a minute or 2 minutes without any air. I thought I was going to die. Like my vision was going blurry. And then I went, and then as I gasped for air, he was gone. And I fell out of bed, scrambled, hit my head on something, flicked on the light, nothing was there. And I literally like didn't sleep for 3 weeks after that. I was a mess when I got home. I think I wanted to change
jeez.
hotels, but I was too much of a coward to tell anyone what happened at the time. So that was traumatizing.
That's an intense story. Has any of that shown up in any of your, like, I know you've done a couple shorts that look horror related.
Yeah.
Because I can't see them. I don't know if they're anywhere I could view them. I'd love to. Some of the descriptions I read on IMDb sounded fantastic. Um, has that character or that feeling, has that influenced you since? Because it
I think
seems
it's the unknown. There's a character that we've introduced here that's very much coming. There's a series that I've been writing for a few years that I'm not really in a rush. I think that's the biggest thing as creatives is don't be in a rush. Like, people want to make it big when they're young, and I have no interest because I get more interesting as I get old. And so I've been writing a TV series for I think 7 or 8 years around since that started, and it's kind of a collection of these things, and every character, every story has a little bit of me from my life in it, and that one is probably one of the worst ones I've had. It's not the worst, it's one of the worst. And so yeah, it's definitely, it's made an appearance. It hasn't made an appearance yet in anything that I've shown, but that it's it's hard for me to write things. I write from a very deep place of like of what I've gone through.
sure.
And I don't know why, but that one's just scared the shit out of me to even put to pen and paper because I don't want to relive it yet.
I get it. And like, if it was all in your head knows exactly how to mess with you the best. I found like, when I'm in those more lucid moments of my life, that like my head will absolutely know the best way to break me. And it does
Mhm.
it sometimes on purpose. I don't know why. It's probably the same reason we go to haunted houses.